All right, we're live. Welcome back to Conscious Evolution. I'm gonna wait for some people to join us here. Says I'm unable to connect to the chat. What's that all about? Hello, hello. Trying to see if I'm connected here. Yeah, huh? It's letting me comment. Cool. Tonight, our episode is about emotional addictions. Just like any other addiction, you can be addicted to emotions, you can be addicted to drugs, you can be addicted to alcohol. Man, look at this all jacked up. And so, still waiting for some people here and get started. So while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and announce that I'm super excited about it that our Patreon page is launched. It is a go. It's live. So go check that out if you are interested. I am doing a mastermind group. So it's like a mastermind slash spiritual support group. And I'm also doing group healing sessions, so where you can get multiple distance healing sessions for like a discounted rate at the moment. It's a way for me to reach more people, and to in the same amount of time. So the same amount of energy and time that I put into my normal healing practice, I feel like I'll be able to reach more people at one time. And right now on the planet with all the energies, I feel like that is so important. So I created the Patreon page to be available for people in that fashion. Also, the group healing session for everybody is on November 1st. So that's 11/1/19, and that's at 6:30 p.m. If you do participate, I ask that you just donate something to the channel, whatever, use a synchronicity of yours, whatever numbers that you see, I don't care what it is. Just donate something. It helps with the energy exchange, it really is beneficial for you when you do donate for a healing session. So that one's going to be open for everybody on November 1st, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those just joining, we do have the Patreon site is live. It's launched. There's a link in the description below, so check that out. So how we all doing today? I got two people in here. Man, a notification must not want to out. Or you guys are busy or something. That's all good. Yeah, I can roll back and watch it. So let's just get started here. Let's get right on in there. So, emotional addiction. It's just like any other addiction. I mean, we can create addictions out of anything, whether it be emotions, whether it be drugs or alcohol or whatever, literally anything. You could be addicted to meditating, addicted to yoga. Those are great things to be addicted to, but it's in the fashion that you do it. Your addictions can consume you. You can be addicted to your phone, you can be addicted to YouTube, you can be addicted to Facebook and social media, like that. We can get carried away so easily with anything, especially people that are like that were addicts, that did have drug addictions, that tends to be replaced by another form of addiction, whether it be social media or emotional. I mean, I think all of us have some kind of emotional addiction, because if we still are experiencing anger and shame and guilt and fear and anxiety and stress on a regular basis, that's something that we are addicted to, that our brains are addicted to, our bodies are addicted to, and we need to change those addictions, those habits, those thought patterns, those beliefs. It's the same thing I'm always talking about. It's just so important. And I was listening. Oh, I got him. I was listening to something today, and it's basically like you got two choices every day. You can either, like, as far as the way you think, like our brains are basically like memory machines, right? So we can get up in the morning and we can start remembering all of our shit, all of our dramas, all of our stresses, all of our fears, all the things that we perceive that aren't going right in our lives. And we can start thinking about that and start creating that reality. Or you can get up and start your day by like the vision you have of your life for your future. Start thinking about that, start talking about how you want to live your life, how you perceive your vision of the future. You know, what do you see yourself doing in the next year or two or three or four or five, whatever, goals you have, short or long term. Project that out of into the field, project that into that quantum field of limitless possibilities, and you will start attracting those. I lost the word. You'll start manifesting that reality into your reality if you just start project. So if you start talking about your day instead of talking about your emotions and experiences and things that happen to you or things that aren't going right in your life, and start talking about what you envision yourself doing in the future, what you're going to do tomorrow, the next day. Like right now, I created a Patreon page and I'm going to do group healing. I am doing group healing sessions, and I'm going to do a lot more sessions and open it up to a lot more people. And I'm also created a mastermind group and a spiritual support group. And that's what I am doing. And that's what I've been talking about. And I talked about it, and now it's come to fruition, and now it's a reality of mine. And I'm super excited about it too, by the way. So if you're interested in that after the live video, go check out the description below. I'm really excited about it. If you guys have any questions, comments, you can leave comments on the page. I think I'm still learning how to use it. I posted my last live stream on there, so just to see how it worked, really. So yeah, two choices every day. We can live by the emotions of the past or visions of the future. I think Joe Dispenza said that actually. I'm not sure, but that's like the simple of it. That's what you can do to stop thinking, because it's like every like this morning, this why this really resonated with me. This morning I woke up and started thinking like automatically, because I was not consciously trying to create that in my day today. It just started happening. I just woke up in like zombie mode. I only slept for like 4 or 5 hours, and it wasn't good sleep. I just woke up and like making coffee, and it just started going through, running through the tape of drama, basically, and the things that I'm dealing with in my life right now. But it was through like an old perception that it started coming through my mind, and I immediately called it and was like, no, 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 no. Because when things happen to me like that, I always just stop and shift and say, no, that's not, things are always working out for me. And that's how I shift out of that emotion or out of that thought process. And your personality creates your personal reality. That is something Joe Dispenza said. Your personality creates your personal reality. So if you change your personality, your personal reality will change. It'll change to suit your new personality. So like I sat with that for a little bit and went back to like a year ago and how my personality was and how my personality has shifted as my thoughts and beliefs have shifted, as my experiences, kept happening, and I was experiencing a lot of things that were shifting my consciousness. And my personality has shifted completely. I'm much more patient than I was. Already a patient person before, but I'm way more patient now. I'm very slow to anger. Like I rarely get angry. I do get triggered and frustrated, but I rarely get angry. I just get frustrated and I see it immediately, and I'm like, well, what is that showing me? And I go into that. So how's everybody doing tonight? Who do we got in here? We got a couple people here today. Who are you? Where are you from? What's you about? What's going on? um, so another quote from Joe Dispenza I really liked today was, nobody changes until they change their energy. When you change your energy, you change your life. And that's like the same thing. You change your personality, you create a new personal reality. It's like it goes hand in hand. But as far as the addiction to anger, addiction to shame and guilt and fear and anxiety and stress. When you are experiencing these emotions, your body is in a stage of fight or flight, which is then not properly functioning. Your body doesn't have it's spending all its energy for that, for that emotions that you're experiencing instead of to process the food you're eating, to properly heal the body of any ailments or any issues that are going on. So as a society, I believe we spend like 70% of our day, of our lives in that anxiety and stress and fear. So it's really important to shift out of that, let go of your past. Let go of those stressors, that anxiety, those things that are bothering you. If your mind automatically goes to these things and it's still running through the tape of your past experiences, then give it something else to think about. Give it your vision of the future. What's your vision of the future? Concentrate on that and give your mind that to work on. Start visualizing, fantasizing about having that, because you are whole and complete as you are, and everything is as a reality right now. So it's like what you concentrate on, what you give your energy to, what you give your focus to is what you give your energy to. So you really got to let go of your past. When you let go of your past, and the stories that we're telling ourselves, the stories that we tell other people, those stories that define us, that we identify with, are no longer serving us. So stop talking about it. I literally want to stop talking about my past, like altogether. But there's still things I'm transmuting in that, or am I? What if I just start visualizing the future and just deal as things as they come up? It's like, do we really need to go into and transmute all these things, or can we just sit and anchor love? Like, I don't really know. I think anchoring love is the main agenda of this new consciousness. I don't know if I'm connected to the chat room here, guys. Oh crap. Uh-oh. I'm not seeing any comments. That's unusual. Interesting. Hmm. Anyways, lost my train of thought now. Sorry about that. So, yeah, let go of your past. Let go of those stories you're telling yourselves and identifying with, because that's also what's keeping you in your present personality. When you can shift out of that personality, out of those beliefs and that frequency, you can shift into anything you want. You can recreate yourself at any time in your life to be anything that you want. There's no limits on what you can create in this reality, in this life, in this energy. I mean, the energy here now, like if you did something yesterday that didn't work, don't give up on it. If it's something you're passionate about, try it again tomorrow. And it may just work. It's like there's limitless possibilities when you tap into this quantum field of energy, this 0 point energy field that we're around, this multi-dimensional energy that we're surrounded by at all times. It's the same energy I work with in the healing practice, that miraculous things can happen. I've seen it happen. It's absolutely fascinating. So, I mean, a great way to get into that would be to meditate. And I'm really like concerned about this chat room right now. So a great way to do that would be to meditate. Meditate, and when you meditate, when you can settle your mind, calm your mind, you can connect to the divine, to the universe, your angels, your higher self, to God, whatever term resonates with you. You really can. I mean, that's we are all connected to the divine. We are all connected to the universe, to God. So when we can sit down and settle our mind, when we stop telling ourselves and or experiencing these emotions and identifying with these stories of our past, and we can if we can really calm and settle our minds out of that, that's how you start to get beyond yourself and connect with the divine. It's really, if we if we could shift our addictions, our emotional addictions, from the anger and fear and anxiety and stress to love, like we are addicted to feeling love. Like I love feeling love. And I haven't been meditating as much as I used to, and I'm recently starting that practice again. And over the past couple of days, I've been able to just sit and get my mind right. It's like, really, you got to sit down and take control of your thoughts and in what's going on in your mind, because that's just that voice in your head's going on and on and on, and that voice in our head is not us. And it's funny, all the issues that little voice in your head has created in your life, and yet we don't hold it accountable for any of the issues it's created, because we are not that voice. That is not us. Anything that's outside of the divinity, outside of love, joy, and passion, like that is not us as our true selves. So why aren't we all addicted to love? Like that is the best feeling in the world. When I hit that state of blissfulness, I get to a state of bliss town. All right, this guy isn't working. In my meditations, I don't want to stop. And the concept of time just leaves. Like I don't have concepts of time anymore. I have to set an alarm sometimes, because I'll be sitting there for over an hour and won't know it. It'll feel like 10 to 20 minutes for me. And like I could easily get addicted to meditating, and I don't think that's a bad thing, as long as it's not interrupting whatever you need to do on your day-to-day basis on your in your life. And then meditate all you want, because that is self-development, self-improvement, self-help. That the more control you gain over your mind, over your thoughts and belief systems. A belief is just a thought you continue to think. So the more control you have over that, the more you can settle your mind and control that inner voice. That inner critic is what I like to call it, because it's just criticizing everything you do. It's really not helpful for anything. It's pretty much like, most times I think of it as your ego or your inner critic. And, your ego it doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to move on into a higher dimension. It doesn't want to go through the ascension. It wants to stay here in 3D, and it wants to just tell you everything spiritual that you do is stupid. That's what it's going to say. Like, oh, you get excited about something that's like spiritual. Let's get excited about meditating or feeling love, and your inner critic or your ego is going to be like, nah, that's dumb. Yeah, it sounds cool, but like, yeah, no, that's kind of dumb. I don't really want to do that. Like, you're stupid for wanting to do that. You're corny. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to feel love? We don't do that. We're too busy wrapped up in our anger and fear and guilt and shame and blaming other people for our problems and playing the victim mentality. Why the hell would you want to love? What's wrong with you? Like, that's that inner critic. And like I was saying, we don't hold it accountable for anything, yet it's caused so many issues in our lives. Like, it is what we allow to talk us out of things, or to rationalize things and justify doing things that we know we shouldn't really be doing. But I think holding that voice accountable for its actions is so important. When I heard, I forget where I heard that. Somebody told me that, or I read it in a book. To hold that inner critic accountable for the issues it causes. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to what your inner critic is saying about you, saying to you, saying about other people, judging other people, you know, creating or sparking a thought that's creating that anger and fear and guilt and shame, blame, all that matrix emotions. So hold it accountable. So when you start getting triggered and then you hear that voice speaking, pay attention to it. Observe it. Step back and observe it. Observe the observer. observe the inner critic. You observe that voice and really pay attention to what it's trying to tell you. Because if you're gonna go to meditate and then that little voice is like, oh well, we don't really have time, or that's kind of stupid. You're not good at meditating, so you probably shouldn't do it. Why are you trying again? You failed last time. What's the point in doing that? You're just wasting your time. Let's just go sit down. Let's go drink a beer. Let's get high. You know what I mean? Like, let's do all these other things that the ego thinks is fun, that your inner critic thinks is fun, and anything that's going to distract you or keep you from doing the things that's actually important to your mission, to this ascension, to your spiritual evolution, to your conscious evolution. So really keep it in check. Really hold it accountable for what it says. Pay attention and start taking notes of that. What's it saying? How is it interacting with you? What is it telling you right now as I'm speaking? Is it criticizing me, or he doesn't know what he's talking about? He's stupid. That's stupid. Change the channel. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that's your inner critic. That's your inner voice speaking. That's your ego. It doesn't want to die. So let's get addicted to love. I mean, it is the single greatest feeling in this universe. Love. I was cooking dinner tonight, and um, one of the cats was looking around like creepily, and was, just kind of like staring in the corner, and it creeped me out for a second. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, well, these cats often see in the other dimensions. They see the multidimensional beings that are always around us. We're always surrounded by like an entourage of angels or beings or guides or whatever resonates with you. And like, I got creeped out for a second, and then I was like, well, I said it out loud too. I was like, well, hello, all the benevolent beings in this house. I love you, and thank you for being here with me. And I had this rush of love. It was like a rush of emotions that just felt so good. And then, like, I went right into meditation because I was like, that's the feeling I've been missing, and I haven't been achieving that feeling in my meditation. So I went back and meditated again, and I was able to achieve that state of bliss, and it was so beautiful, and I'm so happy it worked out that way. I'm gonna try to refresh this. Let's see how it works.